A&L Performance, not too far down the road from us. We brought the car here because it's an independent dyno. These guys specialise in Evos and in Subarus. They also do standalone or engine management systems. Adam, the guy who's running it up on the roller, has got a vast amount of experience with running cars. They've been doing it for a good many years now. The idea of bringing the car here was to see the differences and draw comparisons and where things differ or vary in the two remaps. So we've done a pre-REVO tune and we're going to do a post-REVO tune to compare the two and see where the differences lie. And we're not expecting to particularly gain anything. We may even lose something, who knows? But the two maps ultimately are going to be a little bit different, whether that be safety or whether it be figures in terms of brake horsepower or torque. Now just remember that every dyno is completely different. There is no one dyno that is the same. Every single day is different in terms of temperature, relative humidity, and in terms of the way that the operator not only straps the vehicle down but also runs it up, and the way in which the dyno itself operates, whether that be the software that controls it, whether it's braked or inertia, and the size of the rollers themselves. Sorry, I'm squinting guys, the sun's in my eyes, but it was just a good angle to shoot this video from. So ultimately, I think in the future what we want to do is come back here and try and keep a level of consistency so that we can see the difference that different intercoolers, different induction kits all make for one car, whether that be with George, whose car's on the rollers in the background now, or whether it be with another. This is something we're going to try and do for you. So we're going to try and compare different manufacturers, induction kits, intercoolers, and maybe even as far as exhaust systems and intake of air into said systems, into said induction systems and intercoolers, whether we change pipework and so on and so forth, and just see if we can actually truly highlight whether there is a difference by changing from one size to another. Now we know theoretically there should be, but in reality, is there? We'll find out later, and we'll come back to you and let you know what we've achieved with today. As I say, it was not about anything other than drawing comparisons and finding the similarities and what's different from one to another. So you'll see George's car with the REVO software finally loaded, and we'll find out where we stand. See you soon. So that's it, we're back at the unit. I would say it's the next day, but that'd be a complete lie. It's the following week and it's time for a bit of reflection on what we kind of learned from the dyno, if anything. It was an interesting day. We probably didn't start off with the figures that most of you expected, but that's exactly what happens when you go to another rollers with another operator with more variables. So what did we achieve from the day? Quite a lot, to be quite honest. As always with any dyno, you've got variables. So we knew we were going to get a difference in the results. We also ran the day with George's car fitted with a sports car. Now that was always going to suck some of the power up. So what we achieved ultimately was to get a base level. We knew where we started, we kept the rollers or the car strapped to the rollers, and then we saw a variance between the two maps, as it were. What we can reveal from that is that we did gain power. Now, when I said in the beginning of the video that I didn't think we were going to gain power, I wasn't lying. I wasn't sure whether we were going to lose power, to be quite honest. The car started as a benchmark on this rollers with the sports car fitted at 289 horsepower. Okay? Its torque was slightly less than George expected. We achieved just under 307 brake horsepower. Now, that's quite a lot of difference, especially with a sports car. That's 17 brake horsepower total increase just by installing the REVO software. The biggest difference was probably the overrun in terms of the way in which the car ran on the rollers. With REVO, it's a very supple map, it's a very linear and very progressive map, so the way in which the power is delivered is an extremely pleasant experience in comparison to some of the other harsher maps. Now, if that's something that you really want, then some of the other map options out there and tuning options are a great option for those people looking for a really aggressive, really powerful tune. With the REVO file, you're going to protect your drive shafts far more, in our opinion, than you would do with some of the other ones that develop power so quickly and come in so aggressively. Now, once again, that's not taking anything from those particular files, because they all have their place. And people are unique and people want different things. Ultimately, we were able to test some of the REVO settings within the software. It was something that we'd wanted to do for a long time, and to gauge where versus modifications those settings needed to be in a dyno situation rather than just through data logging on the road. We gained quite a bit of knowledge from the day, quite a bit of knowledge about the difference between the two files, the power, the way in which the power was delivered, the aggression of the file, and ultimately whether we increased or whether we decreased in power. Now, to come back to the torque, we did increase the torque again, and if you refer back to George's video, the link will be somewhere up above, you'll see exactly where it came out. However, if you look at the graph which we had on display earlier in the video, you'll see that the torque came in much kind of quicker in terms of rev range. It came in and climbed steadily and then leveled off essentially. That gives you a far more progressive power, and it's far nicer to drive in our opinion. Again, this is just our opinion, and for some people that doesn't suit. They want that aggression, they want that all in one. The REVO file feels amazing on the road. It's amazing to drive, and the dyno operator Adam commented how different the two files look just on screen and how they felt on the rollers. So what I think we've achieved is more power, more torque, and we've also highlighted just some of the subtle differences between the file. It's great to see. I'm happy that we gained power. Anybody would be happy that they gained power on the rollers. It'd be interesting to go back and see what it does with the DECAT, and then again to compare, as we said before, some subtle mods, some subtle changes in terms of induction, intercooler and exhaust, to see what effect that actually does have. So maybe fitting a case against an open cone, maybe fitting some induction air ram systems. These are all things that we could look to do in the future. Alongside that, we've got lots of plans for George in the future. So keep watching our channel, like and subscribe, hit that bell icon if you haven't to keep notified. Do the same for George if you would, George's Car Media, and we'll see you again next time. We hope you enjoyed the video, comment down below, and again, share us across social media, we'd really appreciate it, it makes it all worthwhile. See you again guys.